Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading What Miss Taylor Said. We are reading Mother Hunger. Welcome to Reading What Miss Taylor Said. We are reading Mother Hunger today. I have my water. I'm so glad I have my water because I've been talking. Hey, Sarante! Hello. Hey, y'all. Today has been a good day. It's been a very good day. I'm very proud of my work that I've done today. Mother Hunger. Let's go. Turn up. Hey. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. We are reading Mother Hunger by Kelly McDaniel. Happy Women's History Month. I'm so glad. I know that my timing for this is very early and a lot earlier than I used to do because I used to do 6 or 7 o'clock. So I know it's a lot earlier than I used to do, but I am doing that right now because that's what works for me. It will probably change. It will probably change as things change, as the show evolves again because, it's not what it used to be and I'm not what I used to be, and I go through this every single episode, but I'm glad that y'all are here. I'm glad that y'all are watching. I appreciate y'all being here, and we are going to read Mother Hunger today. I was not too late this time, so I'm proud about that. I did some spiritual work today and got paid for it. I'm really happy about that. Did some spiritual work today, and that felt really, really good. And, I had a presentation at school and I had a quiz this week. I got a 97.5 on my presentation and 100 on the quiz. And honestly, with the quiz, she should have definitely gave me half a point for one of those questions, and she gave me the full point, and I'm thankful for it. I'm very thankful for it. Thank you. I've been working my butt off, and I've been kicking butt and taking names. I'm going to give it another moment, and then I'm going to go ahead and start reading Mother Hunger. I appreciate y'all being here. I am hoping for and looking forward to having my show be in a more physical, in-person capacity. I have not started working on that yet, but I want to do that. And I'm hoping I'm not messing myself up by saying it out loud. I don't think I am. I think that it's going to happen anyway. Anyway, let's get into the book, Mother Hunger. Let's take a moment because we know this book is heavy. So, let's take a moment. Breathe. Come into this moment. This book right here is heavy. This book is, it is holding your hand while it is exposing you to difficult truths. And that's okay. I'm all about that. And we here at Reading What Miss Taylor Said are all about that too. But, I know that it can be a lot. So I just want us to take a moment, take a deep breath. Okay. Welcome to Reading What Miss Taylor Said. My name is Taylor, also known as Miss Taylor Said, and I started this show in November of 2020 in an effort to accomplish a few goals. One of those goals being I want to actually read the books that I own. I own a lot of books. I want to read them. Another goal is to be more comfortable with engaging with an audience while I am talking and interacting. And finally, I want to get more practice reading in front of an audience because the things I want to do with my life are going to involve public speaking, and a lot of times it's going to involve reading in front of other people. So, quarantine allowed me to do that, and I am glad that y'all are here. I am glad that we are continuing to do this. This is, I think, episode 85. I think we're on episode 85 of Reading What Miss Taylor Said. So we're getting on it. We're going to make it to 100. I believe it. So welcome to episode 85 of Reading What Miss Taylor Said. Today we are continuing Mother Hunger by Kelly McDaniel. If you missed the last few episodes, wherever platform you're watching on, you can go back in my videos and rewatch those episodes. The next section, let's see. The next section we're going to go into, one thing that we talked about in the last episode that I do want to retouch on is the last section that we read was human connection. And she specifically pointed out that the CDC defines safe, stable, and nurturing as safety is the extent to which a child is free from fear and secure from physical or psychological harm within their social and physical environments. Stability is the degree of predictability and consistency in a child's social, emotional, and physical environment. And nurturing is the extent to which children's physical, emotional, and developmental needs are sensitively and consistently met. So, just keep in mind that SSNR is safety, stability, and nurturing. And we're going to continue. We are reading Mother Hunger by Kelly McDaniel. And the next section is called Belonging is Survival. Birth isn't supposed to feel like leaving home. Babies are designed to stay physically close to their biological mothers and their most familiar environment. Mothers are shelter and nourishment. In the first 6 to 9 months of life, babies can't distinguish the self from the mother. This is nature's plan to ensure infant survival. Baby brains and bodies are built for close care with the mother, which means being carried, held, and nursed. Babies simply aren't designed for long hours away from their primary caregiver. I know that our society drives us to do that because they want you to get back to work, but babies are not supposed to be separated from their mothers. Or their primary caregiver, Immature developing systems like breathing, heart rate, temperature, and emotional security rely on human touch and proximity. I want my mommy is the universally recognized plea of a distressed toddler. We've heard this cry. Maybe we've felt this cry. The plea echoes deeply inside our hearts. What happens when cries go unanswered or meet irritated, impatient responses? Do we stop needing our mom? No, not at all. Over time, without maternal comfort, we do learn to bury the need, but the need doesn't go away. Unmet needs for maternal nurturance and protection fester like an angry infection. The body holds the memory of emotional pain and over time may generate chronic distress and insecurity. When distress is the norm, it becomes toxic. Toxic stress creates physiological inflammation, weakening the immune system. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some of the physiological things. So we know that increased levels of cortisol cause disease in our body. Chronic increased levels of cortisol cause issues within our bodies. That's what she's describing. So when the distress is the norm, it becomes toxic. Toxic stress creates physiological inflammation, weakening the immune system. If you, people who end up getting autoimmune diseases that developed throughout their life, that they weren't genetically born with, but they developed. So, for example, somebody can develop Crohn's disease, right? That did not have it in their family before. But especially things that deal with our GI, like our gastrointestinal tract. When you have stress in your life, when you have trauma in your life, your body then has to supplement for, okay. So, I wish I could better explain this, and I should be able to better explain this because I'm taking an anatomy class. But, and I have the textbook right over there, but I'm taking multiple classes right now. But what happens basically is that, like, the way that my teacher describes it is the man in the Serengeti, right? You have the man in the Serengeti. He sees a lion, and he's like, we got the heck out of Dodge, right? His body, his adrenal glands activate, those different hormones start activating, and his body becomes like able to do things that it normally wouldn't be able to do. And he's able to run faster. He's able to stay in that active state of stress and survival for as long as he needs to until he gets to safety, right? And then the body calms down. Here's the thing. If you have that happen, and like if that happens within your body, and it's not because there's a lion, but it's because you're a baby and your mother didn't pick you up or just let you cry or acted like you were ignoring her or acted or like ignored you or neglected you or something like that, then those same things are activated, and your body still reads that as I need to survive, but it's not a lion chasing you, you know? Sorry that was a slow thought to come out, but anyway, stress kills, and it's not stress. I want to be careful with my words. Stress doesn't kill. Our response to stress is what does it. Because I watched this TED Talk where they were talking about our response to stress. I'm not sharp like I used to be, y'all. I'm not sharp like I used to be, and it's frustrating. Sorry. It's frustrating because my words are not coming out as quickly as I want them to. My thoughts are not processing as quickly as I want them to. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm just going to keep reading the book. My thought is gone. So I'm just going to keep reading the book. Anyway. There's a TED Talk. Y'all should watch it. I can't think of the name of it, but it's basically stress doesn't kill, stress response, like it's our response to stress. Something like that. In this way, so stress creates physiological inflammation, weakening the immune system. In this way, lack of early nurturance or protection is a form of adversity and creates an attachment injury. This frightened or lonely toddler within follows us into adulthood, wreaking havoc on our bodies, relationships, and careers. This early broken heart is the root of mother hunger. The next section is called Nobody Loves You Like Your Mother. The truth is, we never really outgrow our need for a mother to comfort us, celebrate our accomplishments, or make us soup. To quote author Adrienne Rich, there is in most of us a girl child still longing for a woman's nurturance, tenderness, and approval. For daughters, healthy maternal love always feels good. Mothers and daughters who remain in warm connection throughout their lifespan are both healthier and happier than those who are lost to each other. Mothers who provide adequate nurturance, protection, and guidance create securely attached daughters who navigate life's challenges. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Who navigate life's challenges without unnecessary distress. But the myth that all mothers love their daughters erases the truth that many women know. Maternal love didn't feel good. The fantasy of maternal love did not apply. The myth creates confusion for many daughters who never knew this kind of tenderness. Mother hunger, yearning for maternal love, can come from well-meaning mothers who could not be there, or from mothers who were there and wanted to love but did not have the proper infrastructure for attachment programmed into their own psyches. Mother hunger does not discriminate based on race or class, because infant needs are universal. The kind of care we received as infants and toddlers teaches us whether we are worthy, lovable, and safe. Truly, what I've found is that having an unkind or neglectful mother can be as damaging as having no mother at all. Having an unkind or neglectful mother is as damaging as having no mother at all. Daughters of compromised mothers cling to hope. Hope that the mother they have will become the mother they need. I'm so sorry, y'all. I've passed a lot of energy today. Enduring hope creates a pathological fantasy that keeps women trapped in cycles of disappointment and grief. Choices feel more like compulsions. Decision-making is based on external pressures rather than internal values. Substitutes are needed. In childhood, surrogate mothers may look a lot like cake, ice cream, or fairy tales, but eventually, vodka, drugs, or hasty head-over-heels relationships take their place. In all stages of life, untreated mother hunger craves a quick fix for the empty hole lurking inside. Morgan said, who? Okay? Because I'm just going to go ahead and sit with that for a moment. Because, like, I'm going to go over it again because I really need to let it sink in, okay? Daughters of compromised mothers cling to hope that the mother they have will become the mother they need. Enduring hope creates a pathological fantasy that keeps women trapped in cycles of disappointment and grief. Choices feel more like compulsions. Decision-making is based on external pressures rather than internal values because the person whose mama wasn't there for them and the person whose mama, like, has let it be very clearly known, I am not trying to be here for your emotional needs. I ain't trying to hear all that. I don't want to talk about your feelings. I don't want to talk about your stuff. I don't care about none of that. The mama that don't care about what you got going on, you could be laying out dead somewhere and they ain't gonna care. They not gonna care. And it's actually gonna be an inconvenience for them that they gotta deal with whatever happens. And then I'm getting a little personal. But then it's like, if anything, if something were to happen to you and they have to show up and be your mom, the drama of it all is my child. But they didn't really care and weren't invested in the first place. Those moms, you can't call them for the little things. You can't call them. It makes me think of Janine's mom on Abbott Elementary. You can't call them and be like, Ma, I'm going through this right now with my partner and I don't know what to do. And I've tried everything I know how. I've tried everything you talked to me about and it's not working and I don't know what to do and I just need you to vent. I just need to vent. I need some advice. You can't go to that person for advice. You can't go to that person for comfort. You can't go to that person. You just got to figure it out on your own. And more than likely, when you meet other elder women, because the first elder woman that you were supposed to have did not model safety for you, you're not really meeting a whole lot of other, I don't know, maybe that's just me. That may be a different truth for somebody else. Other people that have mother hunger, I hope that they have found elder women to fill in that gap a little bit. But I never found that. I did not find older women that I could confide in and go to and get wisdom from. So I had to figure it out by myself. And people whose judgment I trusted and were living a life that I wanted that I could model, even if it's just one aspect of their life that I could model after, you know? But it says substitutes are needed. In childhood, surrogate mothers may look a lot like cake, ice cream, or fairy tales. I watched a lot of Disney movies growing up, okay? But eventually, vodka, drugs, or hasty head over heels relationships take their place. In all stages of life, untreated mother hunger craves a quick fix for the empty hole lurking inside. Motherless daughters is the next section. After publishing my first book, Ready to Heal, women who identified with mother hunger sought my support. I needed better language to describe the wordless despair that followed adult daughters into boardrooms, restaurants, romance, and motherhood. Hope Edelman's book, Motherless Daughters, magically came across my path. Edelman, a gifted journalist and writer, lost her own mother prematurely. She found language for the emotional legacy of being a motherless daughter, expertly describing the emotional, social, and psychological arrested development that happens without maternal care. Her book fascinated me because her descriptions of motherless daughters sounded like my clients, even though most of my clients still had living mothers. To make sense of this, I found the important work of Dr. Pauline Boss on ambiguous loss. Ambiguous loss is a term she coined to explain what happens when someone we love changes, as in the changes of dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or traumatic brain injury, as in the case of dementia, Alzheimer's disease, or traumatic brain injury. It occurs when psychological absence coexists with physical presence. I'm so sorry. I need to eat something. That's what it is. I ain't really ate nothing today. It occurs when psychological absence coexists with physical presence. In other words, when a person is physically present but psychologically and emotionally absent. Yep, psychologically and emotionally absent. End of the sentence. Boss's description helped me understand why my clients look like Edelman's motherless daughters. A daughter may grow up with motherless symptoms because she is missing her mother's attention and attunement. Attention is essential to nurturing and protecting. 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 I hate when people say, oh, they just doing that for attention. Yes, they are. Yes, they are, because attention is essential to nurturing and protecting. To feel love, children need their mother's emotional attunement as well as her physical presence. The absence of maternal emotional availability directly impacts the quality of her care. Lack of maternal attunement happens for many reasons, such as work demands, smartphones and screens, various addictions, or poor health. A mother's own unhealed psychological coping can impair her capacity for attention and attunement, removing her from the present moment and her daughter. Oh, this yawning. It's crazy. Okay, let's see how much. We still got so much left. Okay, the next section is called... Hold on. I'm going to close this door real quick. Okay. I'm back. No one else is, but I am. Yeah, we're just going to lean back and read like this, okay? Since ain't nobody in here, we're going to read like this. A mother is first a daughter. When I need language for mother hunger, Adrienne Rich always inspires me. Rich writes, many of us were mothered in ways we cannot yet even perceive. We only know that our mothers were in some incalculable way on our side. But if a mother had deserted us by dying or putting us up for adoption, or because life had driven her into alcohol or drugs, chronic depression or madness, if she had been forced to leave us with indifferent, uncaring strangers in order to earn our food money, if she had tried to be a good mother according to the demands of the institution and had thereby turned into an anxious, worrying, puritanical keeper of our virginity, or if she had simply left us because she needed to live without a child, the child in us, the small female who grew up in a male-controlled world, still feels at moments wildly unmothered. So, okay, let me read that last part. If she had tried to be a good mother according to the demands of the institution and had thereby turned into an anxious, worrying, puritanical keeper of our virginity, or if she had simply left us because she needed to live without a child, the child in us, the small female who grew up in a male-controlled world, still feels at moments wildly unmothered. Many well-meaning mothers didn't provide adequate nurturance, protection, or guidance for their daughters because they simply couldn't share what they didn't have. Mothers are first daughters, and they may be living with their own unidentified and untreated mother hunger. Every mother is carrying the resources, beliefs, and traumas of her maternal ancestors. Every mother is carrying the resources, beliefs, and traumas of her maternal ancestors. Every mother is carrying the resources, beliefs, and traumas of her maternal ancestors. And for each woman, the loss of the daughter to the mother and the mother to the daughter is the essential female tragedy. For many reasons, reading this book can be triggering. Identifying mother hunger is about healing unmet essential needs now that you are an adult. As you go through the concepts in this book, you may vacillate between feeling angry with your mother and feeling like you're betraying her by reading this. Most of us are trained to be good daughters, and we minimize our mother's behavior no matter how much it hurt. On the other hand, you may want to blame your mother. Blame is a natural state of grieving and a very normal part of mother hunger, but it's a terrible place to get stuck. If you find yourself unable to move past blame, it might be a sign that you need more support for healing this wound. If you have children of your own, reading this book might be extra challenging. Mothering is not for the faint of heart. While we are biologically wired to nurture and protect children, mothers receive conflicting and contradictory advice that makes the job much harder. You already know what it's like to struggle with guilt because you don't measure up to a manufactured mothering standard. You've had those days when you've lost your patience and your temper and your mind. No. When you've lost your patience and your temper and your mind, you may question why you had children in the first place. These are all normal feelings that come along with the incredible pressures of mothering in a cultural wilderness that doesn't adequately support you. If your children are older, estranged from you, or struggling in their life, you may feel despair from the loss of closeness with them. But as you gain new insight, remember to stay focused on your experience as a daughter. Although I cover principles of mothering, this isn't a parenting manual. I've included this information solely to help you identify what you lost as you grew up to be the person you are today. Healing your mother hunger is the purpose here, not an examination of your mothering. Again, the relationship with your mother is why you're here with me. While you recover lost parts of yourself, please don't go to your children, no matter how old they are, to process raw feelings about this material. Okay? As your heart heals, your children will inherit the gifts of your labor without any explanation. In the well-crafted words of my grandmother's hands, Resma Menachem, MSW, says, one of the best things each of us can do, not only for ourselves, but also for our children and grandchildren, is to metabolize our pain and heal our trauma. If you are the mother of a daughter, trust that daughters always want their mothers. At almost any stage of life, a new bond is possible, particularly during certain powerful transitions, such as her adolescence or becoming a mother herself, when many daughters, once again long for a mother's love and guidance. For many of you, reading these pages may trigger painful flashbacks to your childhood. If this happens, I encourage you to find a well-trained trauma-sensitive attachment therapist who can help you make sense of disturbing emotions and memories. Healing mother hunger doesn't happen in isolation. Mother hunger is a relational wound that wants relational repair. To avoid getting stuck in despair, it's essential to have a trustworthy guide. Men, women, and mother hunger. There's nobody in here, so I'm just going to keep reading. I am often asked whether men, too, can suffer from mother hunger. The short answer is yes. All babies need maternal nurturance and protection. If they are missing, both boys and girls experience mother hunger. But as boys mature, their need for guidance moves from the mother to the father. Boys typically turn toward the world of men to find mentors and to fit into cultural masculine ideals. For non-dominant boys, this process is loaded with complications, but mother hunger may not be one of them. While diverse role models are also helpful to girls' maturation, they specifically benefit from uninterrupted maternal guidance. In fact, it is through their mother's body, mind, and spirit that daughters define femininity, biology, and themselves. Good enough mothering is the next section. Decades ago, Dr. Donald Winnicott, a British pediatrician and analyst, gave us the concept of the good enough mother. At the same time, he also gave us one of the only working definitions of mothering. Winnicott explained that good enough mothers tune into the needs of their newborns. Somehow, good enough mothers understand the temporary urgency of a baby's needs. They seem to know that sensitive responsiveness is critical for their newborn's health, and that there is something essentially good about the early bonding processes. Excuse me. Barring other life adversities, good enough mothers help build securely attached children who meet developmental milestones because they feel safe and loved. The term good enough makes me uncomfortable. While part of me finds it a relief, a way to think about mothering, or anything else for that matter, without holding ourselves to an impossible standard, it minimizes the monumental importance of early attachment processes and the critical importance of mothering. Therefore, it's a term I won't be using to explain mother hunger. So, we have the 3 essential elements of mothering. Welcome in to Reading What Miss Taylor Said. We are reading Mother Hunger by Kelly McDaniel. The 3 essential elements of mothering. To understand, treat, and write about mother hunger, I needed a framework more precise than good enough to quantify maternal love. Over time, I identified 3 essential maternal elements that contribute to a sense of worth and security: nurturance, protection, and guidance. These are the elements of care that translate into maternal love. So, nurturance. A mother is our first source of nurturance. She provides both food and comfort. Her ability to respond to hunger and our need for closeness teaches us about the world from the first moments of life. From her nurturance, we learn whether or not we matter. We learn whether or not we matter. We learn how love... Oh my God, excuse me, I'm so sorry. We learn how love feels. Protection. That is the next element of mothering. Maternal protection is basic to survival. Maternal protection is basic to survival. There we go. Protection enhances development by buffering threats that would otherwise create fear and anxiety. These threats could include anything from lack of shelter to angry siblings or insensitive adults. Protection begins in utero and continues for a long time, as daughters require maternal protection from forces that devalue and violate girls. And the last one is guidance. As they grow older, daughters watch mothers for cues about what it's like to be a woman. Daughters learn how to treat other women from a mother's respect and care. They learn how to be strong and kind, warm and brave from her example. If the first 2 elements of nurturance and protection were missing, however, If the first two elements of nurturance and protection were missing, however, it's unlikely a daughter will trust her mother's guidance. The bond is simply too fragile. Instead, she may break away from her mother's rules, her mother's style, or her mother's wishes. Mothers who provide these essential elements are a refuge from the storm of life. Mothers who provide nurturance, protection, and guidance are a refuge from the storm of life. This makes me think about how a lot of parents, particularly mothers, will say, well, I'm being tough because the world is tough, and you need to be tough out here in the world because the world is tough. And it's like, cool story, bro, but because the world is tough, a mom should be a safe landing, should be a safe space, a soft landing, a place where they can come back to for refuge. Mothers who provide these essential elements are a refuge from the storm of life. They are not supposed to be the first storm that you come up against and then get sent out to the world to deal with more bullshit. No, they're supposed to be the place that you come to when the rest of the world and everything in the world is some bullshit. Your mom is supposed to be the person, or the mother figure in your life is supposed to be the person that you come to. And you're like, yo, it's crazy out here. Can you cook me something real quick? Can I talk to you? Can I lay my head across your lap? Can I cry on you? Can I just tell you everything I got going on? Because mama, I am struggling and life is hard. That is what mothers are supposed to be. That's what they're supposed to do. Of course, even mothers who provide these elements will make plenty of mistakes along the way. Of course. They will make plenty of mistakes along the way. Fortunately, mistakes don't create mother hunger. A mom making mistakes does not create mother hunger. Mother hunger comes from unacknowledged damage to nurturance, protection, and guidance. Mother hunger comes from unacknowledged damage to nurturance, protection, or guidance. Mothers who recognize their mistakes and make repairs keep bonding secure. In order for any mother to do this well, she must be nurtured by friends, protected by partners, and supported by family. Let me run that back. In order for any mother to do what she needs to do for her children and show up for her children the way she needs to, she needs to be supported by friends. She needs to be nurtured, by friends, protected by partners, and supported by family. If these resources aren't available, a mother may need professional support in order to meet the demands of mothering. Because it's hard. Welcome in. We are reading Mother Hunger by Kelly McDaniel. So the essential elements of mothering are nurturance, protection, and guidance. The next section is called mirroring and empathy. With repetition and predictability, a baby's neural makeup mimics her caregivers, imprinting a template for how to love and how to feel. Warm, regular touch helps her brain grow, feeding the neurons that promote bonding. A baby develops in her mother's arms, against her mother's heart, one breath at a time. In the mother-infant dyad, the symphony of love orchestrates a brain equipped to master observation, communication, and social connection that will serve her throughout life. Mirroring makes this nonverbal learning possible. When we smile at someone, their mirror neurons for smiling fire up, stimulating a chemical reaction in their brain that releases dopamine and serotonin, hormones that increase happiness and reduce stress. Likewise, when we see someone smile, it fires up our own mirror neurons for smiling. This is the mirroring principle in action. Mirroring lets us feel or get another person. This requires no cognitive effort. It's biologically wired into our mirror neurons. In this way, we automatically feel what someone else is feeling simply by seeing their facial expressions. Mirroring is the beginning of empathy, and empathy makes us human, providing a foundation for connection and community and insulating us from loneliness. Mirroring begins in the first months of life. All babies study their mother's face. Her eyes, her smile, her facial expressions are clues about whether or not they're safe and loved. If a mother's face looks warmed and relaxed, her baby will appreciate the sign that all is well. On the flip side, if a mother looks angry or cold, the infant's mirror neurons register a threat. When a mother's blank face or furrowed brow greets her newborn, human connection can become an unpleasant, even terrifying experience for a developing baby. Those baby brains are so tender, and they are soaking in everything. They are soaking in everything. The next section is called Isolation and Loneliness. I'm actually going to read the rest of the chapter, y'all. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of the chapter. I may not stop to talk as often, but I think I'm going to just go ahead and read the rest of this because I don't even think this is a chapter. I think it's the introduction. No, I don't think it's the introduction. No, it's chapter 1. Okay, cool. So next section is Isolation and Loneliness. In recent interviews, former Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy discusses the toxic nature of loneliness. He explains that ongoing loneliness creates a chronic stress state that in turn damages the immune system, creates inflammation, heart problems, depression, and anxiety, and increases the likelihood of premature death. Thank you for the love. Chronic illness, in quotations, it says, chronic illness is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Did I say chronic illness? I meant chronic loneliness. Chronic loneliness is the equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day, according to Dr. Murthy. In a culture that encourages independence, training for babies and children, too many parents are profoundly unaware of their baby's critical attachment needs. Fearful that their children will be weak, needy, or spoiled, the most well-meaning parents make mistakes that leave their little ones lonely, negatively impacting secure attachment and setting the stage for mother hunger to grow. As adults, many of us live with a deep, unconscious craving for love and security that stems from too much loneliness during vulnerable, dynamic periods of brain growth. While we appear capable and strong deep within, there is a nagging sense of emptiness. Adapting to loneliness too early in life leaves a deep hole where love and connection should have been. We're without an internal compass for love and life, muddling along with brains adapted to loneliness and unprepared for healthy relationships. I was talking about that earlier. I spoke on that earlier. So, the next section is called First Love. My first love. That makes me think about that. Whether disturbing or validating, a mother's love is your first love. Planting the seed for how you feel about yourself, other people, and the world around you. If your first experience of love is positive, other relationships often are too. If not, that's why I have a platform. If not, broken maternal attachment sets the stage for all other relationships in your life. Whether you felt the burden of caring for her emotional well-being or couldn't get enough of her attention, this fractured connection with the most important person in your life leaves you feeling wrong or bad and vulnerable to addictive cravings, mood swings, isolation, and shame. Many women share with me how well-meaning friends, spiritual directors, and mental health providers don't understand this pain. In fact, some actively discourage discussing it. It's no wonder that you might feel disloyal or ungrateful if the topic of your mother comes up. When there isn't a safe space for you to talk about your loss, grief gets stuck in your body. Mother hunger goes unseen and untreated, and it continues to impact your moods and those you love. Understanding the nature of your first relationship in your life doesn't mean you're ungrateful or feeling sorry for yourself. Think of it as a brave step towards wholeness. Recognizing what you had and what you lost directs the path toward reclaiming what you need. And there is a name for your pain. That's the last section before the chapter ends. There is a name for your pain. Living with unidentified mother hunger is like going through life with blinders on. You simply can't heal what you can't see. In these pages, we take the emotional blinders off to identify the elements of maternal care that were not part of your upbringing. We will take a deeper look at the 3 critical elements of mothering so that you understand what happens to development when one or more goes missing. Understanding mothering helps you reclaim what was lost. Your experience of mother hunger is unique to your relationship to your mother, yet the anguish is universal. The emotions that come up with mother hunger include common human feelings of sadness, anxiety, or confusion. These universal feelings usually find relief in relationships with friends and partners, but mother hunger complicates bonding with others. So unfortunately, relationships don't always bring relief. For this reason, it's easy to get stuck. Mother hunger thrives and endures in a climate of loneliness, fear, and shame. These stressful emotions regularly need addictive relief, which is why for so many, food, sex, love, work, exercise, or spending can become addictive. We will discuss how this happens in Chapter 4, Surrogate Comfort. Even though this is a very difficult topic, if you are identifying with and healing from mother hunger, I hope this book helps you feel less alone. After reading this chapter, you know there's a name for your pain. Critical things were missing from your formative caregiving environment. Years of embedded emotions are going to find their way to the surface as your body's wisdom takes over. With a name for your heartache, new strength is on the horizon. That is the end of the first chapter of Mother Hunger by Kelly McDaniel. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you for tuning in. I will be back, looking at my calendar. Yep. I will be back next Friday with Thursday. I will be back next Thursday. Next Thursday, the 14th, March 14th. I will be back on March 14th at 4 p.m. for Reading what Miss Taylor Said. We are going to get into Chapter 2, Attachment Theory and Mother Hunger. And we know attachment theory, anxious attachment style, secure attachment style, avoidant attachment style. We know it. Thank you. If you missed the beginning of this episode, once I post it, the replay will be available. If you have missed the other parts of the book, those are also available on whatever platform you're watching on. Make sure you like, share, comment on the videos once they're posted. Let somebody know that you know about the show called Reading what Miss Taylor Said. Share it with people and let them know that we are reading Mother Hunger. If you know somebody that has a shaky relationship with their mama, tell them that I'm reading Mother Hunger and that they need to come on in and listen in on the book. And the thing is, I know that these topics that I read about are heavy. They're heavy for me, but I know that this is something that I can read about with y'all. And if it gets to be too much, pop out of the live and come back and watch it whenever you're ready. But it'll be here whenever you're ready. Okay? If you want to, donate to the cause, Cash App is Miss Taylor Said. And I hope that y'all have a great rest of your week, great rest of your night, rest of your week, and a wonderful weekend. And I will see y'all on Thursday, March 14th for the next episode of Reading what Miss Taylor Said. That was episode 85. I'll see y'all for episode 86. Y'all have a good one. Bye. Bye.